Pre-match press conference for the 2021 European Super League final between Hyderabad FC and Kerala Blasters FC. We're here at the Hyderabad FC press conference. Thank you all for coming. It's been a long time since we've had our press for the media, 10 physical press conference in the Indian Super League. I'd like to extend my invite to the head coach of Hyderabad FC, Mr. Marquez, and the captain of Hyderabad FC, Mr. Joao. Coach, good morning. Wow, good morning. Congratulations on getting to the final. It's been a long season. This one match remains between you and this shiny trophy. Hyderabad FC, has played very well throughout the season, and we're here facing Kerala Blasters now. Initial thoughts, and then we'll open up the media match. Initial thoughts of the entire season. Yes, sir.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. No, good afternoon, good morning. Of course, we are very happy to be here because it means that we are in the final tomorrow. I think that was or is still a hard season, especially in terms of mentality, because it's hard to be in a bubble during 5 days, 5 months, more or less. But I think that if we have a very good thing, I think that our strength is the group that we have with the players and with the staff. I think all together we go in the same direction, even with hard moments like the COVID moment, that not only you are in a bubble in the hotel, you have to be in the room, even with lunch, breakfast, dinner, all in the room. That is very hard. But in terms of football, it's difficult to be happy, because I think that the club is growing year by year, step by step. You know how Hyderabad started in the first season. Last season we were very, very close, and this season we finished second. And always we will have the doubt that what would happen if we could play the game against Jamshedpur with the complete squad, because if we had won that game, we will be the champions now of the shield. But okay, we know that every team had problems with COVID. In that moment was for us, and I repeat, very, very satisfied. The players, they are incredible. Natives and foreigners, they are a fantastic group. It's very easy as a coach to train this kind of players. And now let's see what happens. It's only one game. Anything can happen tomorrow, and we know that we have an opponent. But I think that they will think exactly the same about us.
Thank you, Coach. One of some words for you as well. Last year you were there with the team. Just a few points to reach the semi-finals. Now you're in the final. Just a few summary of what happened last season and how you've come through this season.
Hello guys, good morning. I think the good work we have done till now started last season. We did a mid-season last year. Unfortunately, we couldn't arrive to the playoffs. But it was good for the guys because we have a lot of young guys, so they could drill with us, with the foreigners we had last year. And now this year, of course, as Coach said, it's been an amazing season. We could have won the Shield, but unfortunately, because of the circumstances, we couldn't play with everybody against Jamshedpur, so we will never know. And now we have last game, and we are prepared. We are ready for it, and as we said, we have a good opponent in front of us. but if we do our job, I'm sure that we can win.
Thank you, Joao. We'll open the floor up for questions from the media now. Please raise your hand, the mic will come to you, and kindly identify yourself and the publication you present.
Hi, good morning, Coach. Tulal De from Kolkata Sangbad Project. Coach, before the starting of the playoff semi-finals, did you expect that Kerala can be the opponent in final? Or you expected some other thing?
No, yes and no, because I think if there is a characteristic in this ISL 8 was that it's not a topic, it's the reality, is that every team can beat every team. There are some strong teams that they didn't get to win. Teams that finally they were in the last position in the table, and was all very. When we play against every team, we know that if we are not with a good performance, we can lose with every team and the opposite. No? If we are in a good moment, not in a good moment. If we play a good game, we knew that we can beat every team. Then Kerala is true that the season of Kerala is full of up and downs. No? They started not too much good, but sometimes football is like this, no? With some injuries of important players like Albino, Pastor KP, and even one foreigner center back, Sibovic. I think that he was injured too in the beginning. But in that moment, in some aspects, I remember or I compare this Kerala with our Hyderabad last season. No? That they had injured our important players, but the players who enter in the team, perhaps Kangil, Formipan, Ruiva, or another players, they played with a lot of confidence. They played very good, and it's a team that with very good foreigners in attack and in defense, because Leskovic is another player that has a very good experience. And about your question, yes, could be Kerala or could be Jamshedpur. I think that even the semi-final was very equal. But yes, when I think that ATK and our team was similar. No, if ATK arrived to the final, I think maybe could be, and same with the other. More or less, it's the same that all the regular season.
Hi, Coach. Moses from Deccan Chronicle, Hyderabad. How difficult has it been to be in a bubble all through and playing in front of empty stands? And would this be a different ball game to be playing the final in front of a full house?
To be in the bubble, okay, the first month, the second month, or last season, for example, that we were maybe 4 months and a half, and now with the pre-season in Hyderabad, after we arrived Goa, they do enter in the quarantine, and then the difference with last season, no, that COVID, the situation during ISL 7 practically didn't exist. The COVID arrived later when finished the season, and now it was practically in the middle. No? Then a lot of changes happened during the season, and it was very, very hard. And in that moment, I think that is very important if you have a good group. Because if you have a good group, you can manage the situation in a better way. No? I think that practically all the season we were in the top of the table, not top, lot of games, yes, but in the first, second, even third. And I think that we are more or less, we are a very good balanced team.
What is it to be playing in front of the fans?
Yes, sorry. Sometimes I am old and I forget some questions. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. If you remember, I think all the people think the same, no? Football is for people. If you play without fans, even we can avoid problems with the other bench, because when you play without people in the stands, you can hear everything that Joao, that is in the other bench, is speaking, and when the stadium is full, maybe you cannot hear me. Then this is a detail, an anecdote, but it's very important. I think that for the player, for the atmosphere, for everyone, if you can play in front of, I don't know, 80,000, 18,000 or 20,000 people, it's better than with the empty stadium.
Buenos dias, coach. First of all, many congratulations on reaching the final in the wonderful league stage. In the semi-finals, coach, you had to make slight tactical changes because of KNAC dropping out, and you had to bring Opeche back. And Ashish Rai was not fit. So how hard was making those tweaks in tactics, and can we expect a fit KNAC or a fit Ashish Rai for the final?
Can we expect everything? Because we can expect everything, because I think that the situation in the bubble now is better, but in the last month we didn't know exactly the players that we had. For one example is against Mumbai, 7 players went out. Joao was one of them. 7 players went out of the room and directly to the stadium. Of course, Joel couldn't play the last games. Ashish couldn't play the last 2-3 games because he had COVID too. Was the last player with COVID. And the other day he played 10-15 minutes. Let's see, because after COVID, I think if you speak with every coach, after COVID, there are some moments. Maybe during 2 or 3 weeks, your physical condition is not 100%. No? That for me, this is very important, because I told you, 7 players out of the room, but we arrived to the stadium and we won by 2-1. Then I think that is very important. In the beginning of the season, when you say, we have 25, 26 players, too much. No, it's not too much. Because in every moment, if they are training in a good way, their moment will arrive and they have to be prepared for this moment.
How hard was it to make those tactical changes, last-minute changes, last-minute tactical changes, last-minute personal changes?
No, I think that we play similar practically all the games. We play 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2. More or less, in this aspect, I think that we are similar than Kerala, that always they play 4-4-2. Yes. More or less, the style of the team is the same. The qualities and the characteristics of the players is the thing that maybe you change something about how we can play. And of course, we have to know the strengths and weaknesses of the opponent. But more or less, we try to play with our style.
हेलो कोच, मैं निसार प्रभात कुमार जमशेदपुर से। ये केरला की टीम जो है वो जमशेदपुर लीग शील्ड विनर को हरा के यहाँ तक पहुँची है, मतलब फाइनल पहुँच गई है। और आप लोगों का भी उसके साथ जो मुकाबला रहा है, ओवरऑल अभी तक बराबरी का रहा है, तो कोई किस तरह का साइकोलॉजिकल टीम के ऊपर दबाव रहेगा फाइनल खेलते समय क्या?
this is statistics. I know in India you love statistics. It's like, yes, this guy 100 passes, 99 okay, one is very bad, but maybe another player 10 passes, 2 very good, 8 bad, but maybe these 2 passes are 2 goals. Then statistics are important, but if you know how to read these statistics, is important. The other, I read, or I heard one interview with Guardiola that he said one very important thing is sometimes there are players that they are playing very good and the team plays very good because the performance of these players and these kind of things don't appear in the statistics. No? I think that okay, they won in the first leg, we won in the second leg. Last season we lose and win one game every one. I think in one final it's not too much important, the statistics. There are another thing, like emotionally, details, individual actions. Yes, I think this is more important if you win 2 games and the other team the same. Because this is another thing that Mayor always asks me in the press conference, is, you never beat 80K, okay, we beat Mumbai, okay, we beat, and some teams that we now we play against East Bengal, very easy, no? Yes, very easy, draw. Yes. Then I think that every game is different, and of course one final is more different.
I have a question for the captain. Tell us from a player's perspective, this entire season, the players have played it to empty stands, but for the finals now there will be spectators. So take us through it. What does this mean for a player?
We prepare all the season for this moment. Now I don't think there is one team even that start the season thinking that they won't arrive to the final. I think even East Bengal or North East that they finish at the bottom of the table in the beginning of the season, they wanted to be in the final. So we prepare we prepare all our lives to be in a game like this. So we have to be ready. We are ready. Be sure that we are ready. And of course, even for the experienced players, like I've been playing many years, Bart and Juana or even Katy, even for us it's very important. If we don't have this feeling here inside, it's because we don't deserve to play football anymore. So yeah, it's really important for us.
Captain, hi. Coach was talking about how hard it was. There was 4 times there was isolation, and sometimes you go straight from the room to the stadium. So as players, just how hard was the season in terms of physically, in terms of mentally? How was it a struggle?
It's hard. It's hard to be in a bubble. To be away from the family is really, really hard. But that's the work of the coach, of the technical staff, to prepare our minds. I will say as always, is more mental than physical. So, but it's hard. It's hard to be closed in a hotel for 5-6 months. Last year was hard. This year was harder because we had to stay inside for maybe 10 days because of COVID that we didn't have last year. But we couldn't manage it. He said many times this season that the team who can manage better the situation will arrive to the final. So if we are in the final, it means that we could manage it.
Hi coach, I'm Joseph and I'm from Khilna. My question for you is, in both matches against Kerala Blasters, you have attempted a number of crosses, obviously overlapping fullbacks and crosses into the box have been a tactic for the regular season, but against Kerala, this has been one tactic you have done to a larger extent. In the first leg, you had 21 crosses against them and you dominated the game, but unfortunately you lost. In the second leg, you had similar number of crosses and both of your goals in the win also came from the process. So, is this a tactic you think that will also serve you well in the final, wherein you can challenge the defenders in the box And with the striker that you have, obviously the 4-4-2 formation with rotation, either Siberio or Joel assisting him. This is a tactic you think will serve you well in the final?
Sorry, but you know that my English is not fantastic and not very good. And with the mask, I have a lot of problems to understand the questions. Maybe more or less. Yes. Maybe Siberio and Bart, maybe Siberio and Joel, maybe Bart and we are still thinking about this again, about the statistics. I read about this because you have to know all the information, but you have to learn to use what is important, and what is not important. I know that we are the team with more crosses, but if nobody is in the box, okay, you can cross maybe 200 times, but nothing will happen. The thing is that you have to cross with players in the box, in different situations, in different zones of the box, of course, and cross in the correct moment. We will cross when we have option and we have players in the box, of course. But I think that it's very important that when we have the ball, when we take the ball, we need the personality that we have usually to play. And then when you have the personality and you keep the ball, then it's more time to arrive with more players to the box. Then I think this is one reason that we are the team with more crosses in the championship.
Hi coach, in this long journey, which was the most toughest match for you? Do you think the ethical move in the semi-final? Mohun Bagan in semi-final, which was the most toughest match for you in this year?
I think that to beat ATK in 2 games for me is very, very difficult because, in my opinion, ATK has the best players in the championship. And we were very keen. In 2 games is very difficult. In 1 game you can beat everything because for example, in the first day, in the first leg, 3 shots on target, 3 goals. We were very clinical, not only in set pieces, we were very good. We defend very good because it's true that in the last minutes they kick maybe 5 or 6 consecutive corners, but we defended very good. But we know that they are a very strong side, and in our situation, because it was just after COVID, after some players played again after maybe 2 or 3 weeks, I think that was very not only important. It's one thing that for me is I am very proud of my players because it was a very difficult situation and to be in the final because ATK Mohun Bagan now is out, for me was a great achievement for the team.
Yeah, a question for the captain. Captain, tell us, is training for the final, again from a player's perspective, is it different from training for any of the other matches? And if yes, how so? And also before you end, every time you hold the mic, we can see the tattoo that you have. So what does it mean before you end? If you can tell us that as well.
Of course, when you play a semi-final or final, everything is different. The way you sleep is different. The way you pass the day waiting for the game is different. the feeling you have during the training is different, but we cannot do everything different because everything what we have until now is what brought us to the final. So we just have to keep doing it. And what I have here is that I love my family. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. All the best. All the best.